This much is true. Truth is a coyote. Shy, wily, hides in the open or along the fence line of our vision. You might see a coyote on the edge of a bush or along the shore of a river or of Lake Winnipeg, Mistay, or along the shore of the Great Lake. Or you might glimpse coyote near the shore of Black Bear Island in the lake's north. That's where the court case happened. Of course, if the truth is what we're after, we need to know what led up to that famous trial. We need to know what happened in the beginning, the very beginning. And it happened exactly like this. Maybe. Creator sat down on the watery earth in a watery bush garden with all the creatures and said,
"Oh, you beauties, you lovelies, dancing from nothing to now. I love you all. You forest of trees, green home to the yellow sun, ever singing of earth's birthing darkness. I really, really like ya. You earth, you air, your morning everywhere. You creek, river parading to the salty sea. Your singing helps keep me singing. Your choirs of coyote, frog, moose, all are juice to all of us. But maybe something is missing. Wouldn't two-leggeds be worth a try? Standing upright with handy thumbs and eyes on far horizons?"
Immediately, trees sighed, without quite knowing why. Heron's eyes rolled, frog bit her tongue, bear bit her tail, otter disappeared underwater until seeing coyote saying,
"Mistake! Upright they will ever be looking far off, losing eyes to see the good, animally earth under their feet."
And they'll forget where they are, warned Heron. They will fail to see the lively deeps of water under their noses.
"Then I will make them of earth and water," replied the Creator. Earth and water of water, they shall be unable to deny who they are."
And where they are, wondered Otter.
"Forest, what say you?" asked the Creator.
What if these big-eyed, thumb-fisted things look at our tall strength, dark depths, and become afraid, fear-filled? Might they burn us down or cut us down to their size, their rule? Asked Forrest.
"May we suggest," added Raven, "that you give them bums with a crack and a hole in it? That should keep them humble."
"But no handsome tail," insisted Fox.
"As well make them creatures of borrowed breath, like us," breathed Moose.
Morning Dove, sitting on an olive branch, cooed, "Yes, that should make them ever grateful for the sweet morning air."
And, chirped sparrows, stir them to join our songs of thanksgiving.
Shortly after the Creator's conversation with the first creatures, humans were made with bums that have a crack and a hole in order to keep them humble, made out of earth, water, and borrowed breath. Maybe that is how it all began. I don't know for certain. I wasn't there.
Before long, all the creatures again called to the Creator. "Oh, thou mystery, thou love, please get a grip on your humans. They are creatures only a mother could love."
Hearing their alarm, the Creator instituted a great peace treaty, a bond which would spell out 1, 2, 3 how to live respectfully and with care. And Creator declared that all the creatures of creation would be official witnesses to this great peace treaty. The cries and songs, sights and silences of the animals and all would be received as testimony regarding human kindness or cruelty. The creatures would always have voice in the courts of the Creator. And added to this, all creation was given teachings in story, dance, and song, lest they forget. Even now, peoples the world over have memories of such an ancient treaty and teachings about wise living that does not destroy river or forest, soil, sea, songbird, children, and all. Did this great treaty bring peace to all the creature kin of the earth? Sometimes, here and there it did. However, the great treaty is widely forgotten. But last September, at the trial on the Black Bear Island, it was recalled again. The trial came about when the lakes and rivers, forests, and all the citizens had been crying out to the Creator for a long while. They called out on behalf of themselves and their human kin who lived by northern rivers, lakes, forests. They wished to speak of what they had witnessed. They called for a trial to judge the many reckless humans for their endless destruction. What did the Creator say?
A judge and good jury will be found for your case, and I will be in the winds that set the trial on its way, and I will be in the wisdom of your witnesses.
Some say the wild winds started in the chemical-addicted prairies farmlands. Some say the tempest blew in from Pig Factory Alley, joining the winds stirred in the city's ill-treated sewage. Others say the angry storm came down from the troubled rivers of the north, rivers chained to hydroelectric dams. From all directions, winds came, bringing together onto Black Bear Island animals, children, judge, and the accused for the famous trial. Miles north, on South Indian Lake, the tempest sees a freighter canoe of big-eyed, open-mouthed children and elders Mary Matogwin and Bernie LaFleur. As Mary tells it,
Our canoe was lifted up into the sky. We sailed for hours upon the stampeding clouds. Didn't know whether to cry or laugh, so we did both. Finally, we were gently placed upon curling waves, which gently laid us upon the little beach.
but roaring out for a cruise from Gimli Harbor was a 40-foot yacht, captained by corporation lawyer Wally Street. As a celebrated advisor to prime ministers and premiers, Wally Street is the brains and hearts and hand behind all legislation regulating oil, mining, hydroelectricity projects. It's been said that he was one of the 5 smartest humans in Canada, alongside Doug Ford, Justin Bieber, and Anne of the Green Gables. Also aboard Lawyer Street's yacht was Joey Jobs, communication expert in hydroelectricity, and Mr. Bigly Biz, a big name in pig production and industrial agriculture. They were in sight of Grand Beach when a huge water spout sucked them all up into an elephant gray cloud. Hours later, they were dumped into willow bushes on the south side of Bear Island.
The morning after this great storm deposited the developers, coyote, raven, heron, turtle, children, elders, retired judge onto Black Bear Island. They all found their way to a meadow near where the old lighthouse still is. And there they were met by bear and otter. And otter gathers them with these words.
Welcome, kinfolk of Sister Mother Earth. As expected, the airy heavens, with a hell of a wind, have blown many of you here. Why? A trial, a court case of utmost importance. Judge Portia, you have been selected to be the judge. Bear and Wolf have brought in the accused, Biz, Jobs, Street. Children, you along with everyone here have an important part to play. You will be our jury. Shall we begin, Your Honor?
Mrs. Otter, this is not a court of law. And if it were, animals would have no place in it.
I apologize. We have no bench, Your Honor, but we do have a tin wash tub retrieved from the abandoned lighthouse.
Does it have arms and a seat of fine leather?
No, but it shall raise you up as high as the seated children, wolf and cranberry bush.
That will have to do, I suppose. I must say that you are well spoken for an otter.
And I say that you speak wisely for a judge.
Thank you, Ms. Otter. Now, I trust that these three are the defendants, but by what authority have they been brought to this court?
By citizens' arrest, Your Honor. By fellow citizens of the animally, watery earth who share the earth with the accused.
Lawyer Street was quick to assert himself.
I object, Your Honor. And I am a lawyer, an outstanding member of a prestigious golf club. So prestigious that I am not allowed to speak its name in public. See this pen? This pen I hold, this weapon of mass destruction. I mean, this pen of massive constructions. With it, I have drafted environmental laws and regulations allowing the robust exploitation of the waters and lands across our gold mine of a country.
I recognize you, Lawyer Street, replied the judge. You once defended a man who murdered his parents, pleading for leniency because he was an orphan.
Just one clever ploy from my early career as a criminal lawyer.
It is honest of this criminal to confess, Your Honor, piped Otter.
Your Honor, I object to that wordplay, and I object to our being arrested, and I object to not knowing the charges, and I object to talking animals.
Animals have always talked,
Growled Bear.
you just haven't been listening.
Let us assume, Mr. Street, that I am the judge and that you, the accused, are in a court of law.
Now, due to the judge's early morning breakfast of eating what was at hand, which was wild cranberries, wild hazelnuts, the judge immediately excused herself to run off into the bushes to do some toilet. And there, during this time, bear, rabbit, heron, and the other animals, trees, and shoreline begin singing a song. We don't have the tune, but we remember the words.
Watery earth and fiery air, life for creatures everywhere. Gifts with strings do not deny. Love, respect, by this abide. Love, respect, by this abide. Green its mercy, green its pardon. Live wise love for this wild garden. Green its mercy, great its pardon. Treaty keep with this wild earth. Treaty keep with this wild earth.
During our story, the developers each appear before the court. And one of the developers appearing was the Joey Jobs, promoter of the mega hydro projects, a fast-talking former used car salesman. Joey Jobs. Before Joey Jobs, Heron had spoken most poetically with her testimony.
Your testimony, please, Mr. Jobs, on behalf of Hydro, said Judge Portia.
Mr. Jobs, briefcase held to his chest, stood eyes closed. Then, Joey Jobs took a deep breath as if he needed to force himself to perform a shameful act. From the case, he took a rubber fish, an egg beater, and a toy truck, which he stuck into his pants pocket. Next, with a long blue thread held high into his right hand, he spoke in a voice he'd once heard on TV.
Knowing that you will not be fooled by that skinny bird, the heron, the bird's cunning use of poetry, I will give you plain talk. It's all very simple. See this piece of blue thread? Imagine it running across a football field. That is the real estate that hydro dams require. Almost nothing at all in the big order of things. See this fish? Okay, it's a rubber fish. In this case, an imaginary fish. But all fish need water, and more dams mean more water. More water, more fish, more money, more jobs. Win-win. With growing energy and old enthusiasm, jobs continue. See this egg beater? Yes. See this egg beater? It's just like an electricity generating turbine in a dam, only a little smaller. In goes the water, out comes electricity. Clean, green, electricity. Now, from my pocket, I'm going to take 3 dimes. And these 10 cents each are going to amount to all you will need to pay for your hydroelectricity due to the cheapness of this clean power. Now, from my pocket, I take these dimes. Here is 10 cents for each of you. It's dark in here for an old guy. That's as much as your electricity will cost. It's a deal. Cheap green energy for your 2-car garage and your swimming pools.
With one voice, Raven and others exclaim, "We don't have a 2-car garage or a swimming pool."
Me, replied Jobs, I have a 3-car garage and 2 swimming pools. I have 1 pool just for rinsing. With new treasures in hand, Jobs continues. See this stick of dynamite? Don't be afraid, they have no fuses. But like bombs, they go boom, kaboom, kabang, blowing shield rock into stones and gravel, which is then moved in dump trucks, much like this little dump truck. Very like that dump truck. Boom, boom goes the little dump trucks, dumping rocks into the river. Slurp, slurp, go a gazillion tons of cement, making an undeveloped river into a money maker. And that means jobs, jobs, jobs. Everybody wins a prize.
His sales routine done, Joseph Jobs sits. He puts his head down as if unable to meet the eyes of the children or coyote or heron.
Ms. Raven, asked Judge Portia, do you wish to reply to Mr. Jobs' testimony?
Testimony, Your Honor? I thought it was a confession of sins.
After the developers get their say, Mary Matogwin, Elder Mary Matogwin, who was in the canoe with the children from South Indian, gets up to speak.
I did not want to speak, but a story got into me. The story wants to be spoken. This story happened that winter. We saw trees explode, trees that got into ice into the heart of them. We had smoked fish and moose put away for the winter. Wolverine found that meat and ate some, and pissed on much of the rest. That spoiled food started the worry in our village that there would not be enough food to get us through till springtime. That worry started turning into fear. When fear of not enough comes, Wendigo often comes. Wendigo came and got inside a man named Henry. Henry got crazy afraid he would never have enough food. Wendigo in him made him all hunger and cunning like a wolverine. His heart became ice, frozen, hard as a stone. He lived like a man who had no relatives. He gobbled up all his winter food. Then he broke into other houses, ate, and took all their food. Fear of not enough was trying to spread. Yet, there were some children who had ears to hear beneath the troubled talk of adults. And the children knew that if Wendigo Henry's ice heart did not melt, more trouble would be coming. When a Wendigo spirit comes, not only the children's food, but the children get swallowed up too. The children were able to think about these hard things because they had been taught to look for gentle and beautiful things too. They had eyes to see good surprises. They saw the first springtime duck landing on the lake near the village. Because there was a springtime in Duck's feet, when he stood on the ice melted. Ice became springtime water. The children had eyes to see the springtime duck as their relative, and they were able to come very close to Duck. They brought little pieces of bannock as a gift. Then they asked Duck to fly inside Wendigo Henry and stand on his frozen heart with his warm springtime feet. Duck's eyes and quack said yes. But the children did not know how they could get the Wendigo man to open his mouth wide so Duck could fly in there. So when they went to Wendigo Henry's cabin, they were afraid. But they went. They brought their little brother Stanley with them. And knocking on the door, they called out, "Henry!" They heard Henry breathing heavy on the other side of the door. "We brought our little brother for you to eat," said all the children, except Stanley. Wendigo Henry opened the door, licking his lips. The children kept talking. "Our little brother is a nuisance. He follows us everywhere. We think it would be okay if you ate him." Wendigo Henry grabbed the boy. He lifted Stanley up to his large open mouth, his big, getting bigger mouth, opening, and Duck flew into the mouth. Duck flew down his throat. Duck landed with his springtime feet on the Wendigo heart of ice. With a roar, Henry dropped Stanley and began hitting and clawing at his duck-filled chest. Still, Duck's hot feet were quickly melting his icy heart. Henry collapsed as Duck flew out of his mouth, leaving behind a melted heart. And off flew Duck to join the other ducks, bringing springtime to the lake. Soon, the whole village was at the shore. Some were catching fish in the shoreline waters. That evening, elders brought fire-cooked trout to Henry. And Henry, with his new warm heart, smiled at all his relatives so near. Relatives in the village, the forest, and on the lake. There, Sister Duck was now swimming in the springtime waters.
All were silent. Judge Portia was unable to find her judge's words. Had you been there, you would have seen her hand tapping her chest over her heart. Was she finding the beatitude in the wise children's heartbeat and her own? Finally finding words, the judge said,
Mary Matogwin, you lead me to think about fear. The hunger that will not be satisfied in many corporate boardrooms or in the hearts of many people.
Mary replied, maybe Wendigo lives in the cities too.
Maybe we live in a Wendigo society with a fear-fed hunger for more and more, a fear we need to unlearn, added the judge, furling the brow of Biz, pushing out the chin of Street. Mr. Coyote, will you please resume your testimony?
And we're going to end there except for the song. Because shortly after that evening, it's time for bed, and the older children climb into the trees and begin singing this lullaby. And the animals join, and this becomes a transformative moment for some of the characters, the song of the children. So together we will sing with the help of Len, and the words are up there.
Creator, sing your lullaby and rock the shore on which we lie. Trust that is torn in sleep you mend a healing mind. Creator's hand. A loon she dies in water now. Her cries she calm, lay sorrow song in tearful tune. The rivers sweet, peaceful sleep. Those who destroy